Hi, you guys. My name is Lenisha. Welcome back to my channel. I am known as a wise counsel, holistic consultant, multifaceted advisor, and a fancy word for a tarot reader, etc. is a divination practitioner. So if you guys are ever looking for advice, I provide advice in many areas of your life. If you're ever looking for life coaching sessions, mentorships, anything, okay, make sure you schedule a free consultation with me. Or if you already know what you're looking for, already know what I provide, and I don't necessarily have to explain or go more in depth, my website also has that information. Then feel free to just DM me. You can't book anything on my website. It's pretty much there for you to just read and view things. My prices change every now and then, but for individuals who are of low income, I have deals and sales going on, which is basically donation based. Anything that you are able to afford, and that's with every service that I have, whether it's readings, mentorships, life coaching. And speaking of the life coaching, I have services that last for up to a month. Okay, now the channeled song was Sabrina Claudio, Stand Still, and I was mainly picking up on that energy of I don't want to fight you. Okay, so I went on her album, well, not her album, the radio on Spotify, and one of the songs that came on was Confidently Lost. Okay, and I also was channeling this other young lady. Her name is Sonia, and the first thing I seen was Shut Up and F Me. I was like, whoa, what's going on? So I'm just gonna put it on her. Let's see what happens. Let's see what's gonna come on. Okay, an advertisement came on. All right, but as you see by the title, for those of you who are joining in on live, they don't want to fight. Now, this could be a new person. Maybe y'all are attracting new love in your life, whether it's platonic, romantic, and these people are not gonna want to fight. They are more of peace. Some of these people, they are similar to you, starseeds, earth angels, things of that nature, and they're pretty much of light, you know, meaning that they're just not me stuttering, child, so the throat chakra or communication could be really significant. Crystals. Ooh. The game Uno. Somebody could hate on your strength as well. All right, so one of the songs that came on was Our Home by PENN. So I guess I didn't really click on. He said, I don't need no mansion, don't need no da-da-da. And what that's bringing me is love is not materialistic at all. We can be houseless, and you will be all that I need. I don't need the mansion. I don't need the cars, the clothes, the hoes, I suppose. Okay? Or whatever he said, I suppose. I just want to be successful. Some of you guys are literally obsessed with ascension. Or somebody is obsessed with you and you're just out here ascending. All right, but let me see which one of these songs they're going to let me play. All right, so I'm gonna skip, see what happens. We got Sienna Rose coming on, Soft is Truth. All right, so I guess she's just not gonna really pop up, so let's put it on this other playlist. Now I'm seeing Mariah the Scientist, Like You Never, and another song called To You. But this song is by Tia Gordon. It's called Miss You. So I feel like whoever these individuals are, maybe you've met them in a past life, maybe you've met them in this life, and y'all are just, I don't know what's going on, honey. You gotta take it how it resonates. Everybody's situation is different. Mind you, this is a collective. I'm not talking to anyone in particular. All right? If you guys want to be a part of this collective, make sure you are double tapping the screen so I can pick more up on your energy. All right, if you want to send in gifts, I greatly appreciate that. This is a energy exchange. When I give you something, you come on and give me the double taps, the gifts. If you have any gifts that you can send. All right, but Leo energy could be significant. Somebody could really hate on your light, hate on your strength. Okay, I'm not sure who this is. Some of y'all maybe, you know, whole time was sleeping with the enemy. But all I know is the main energy I was picking up on was they don't want to fight. So this could be somebody who you haven't met, who's going to come in peaceful energy. This could be people who wants to double back in your energy because they miss you. And this time around, they like, look, I don't want to fight. I just want to be together. I just want to make this work. I'm not trying to fight. All right. Maybe this could be people who's like egocentric. Maybe you are in your pride when it comes to this energy. And I feel like this doesn't really feel good to the next person. I'm seeing somebody with a frown on their face, honey. But it's crazy how the street and the hater had came out when we're talking about this. So be mindful that it could be this person's energy, your energy, or an outside source. All right. Hater usually says one that dislikes or disapproves the achievements and victories of another. So maybe you guys are ascending, standing firm in certain energy, standing on your boundaries. And these people, they can actually be envious of that and also disliking and disapproving of it as well. Especially how you guys are literally bouncing back, coming into better energy. Some of these people are in their head. They're worried. They have an anxiety. Some of these people just possibly want you to speak some type of truth or something that can turn their frown upside down. All right. Well, somebody said in the comments, "Wow, I had a frown on my face." Okay, so if this is not their energy, it could be y'all's, or it could be both of you guys's, or like I said, it could be outside energies, right? Somebody got a hater in their energy. Pull the struggle out of you. She said, I pull the struggle out of you. Yeah, somebody just wants, some of you guys, if I'm talking to the right person, like I said, you got to switch it around, apply how it fits, whatever the case may be. This message may not be for everyone. But I feel like you guys, you turn people's worlds right side up. You bring happiness. You restore balance. You bring peace. But somebody wants to rush in and communicate to you, share their thoughts with you. Maybe certain things that are very huge that's going on in their life, they want to come towards you. This could be losses. This could be winnings. But somebody wants to come in real quick. Or this could be your energy, you know, because readings are also timeless. This message that you're seeing will also be uploaded on YouTube, right? So it don't have to just resonate for today or tomorrow. It can even, you can see this reading in 2030 and it'll resonate, you know? So keep that in mind. We got the Empress, Two of Swords. The Empress could be at a crossroads when it comes to this situation. Don't be in denial with truth, okay? Don't be in denial with how you feel either. If some of you guys know that a conversation needs to happen and you want it to happen, then, you know, you don't have to be so much in your ego. You know, letting somebody know that you still care or love them, it's not going to take away anything from you, honestly. Now, this does not mean not stand your ground. If you over here like, nah, I'm done with this person, I'm moving forward in my life, I want to attract better, I'm not even able to talk to this person right now because I'm still healing from them, it's just not gonna work. This person on their end, they got a lot that they need to work on. They crossed the bridge that I don't feel like we can cross again. Whatever it is, you know, that's why you take the messages how it resonates. Some of y'all, you want to reconcile. Others of y'all, you like, no, new person, please. So just take it how it resonates. I feel like a lot of you guys are pretty much encouraged to focus on yourself and pour back into yourself at this time, nurturing and watering your own personal garden. Okay, before you can tend to anybody else, you most definitely got to tend to self, honey, because then you'll be rocking around here with your face turned like with a mean mug. Okay, not really happy. All right, tame your passions. Tame your passions. Whatever passions may be for you. Like a lot of times in the traditional tarot, there's a lady who's kind of taming the lion, which is just this visualization of tame your passions, closing the lion's mouth, not aggressively, not all like this, and confidently as well. If you, in real life, if somebody putting their hand on a tiger or standing near a lion, you probably gonna be like, Oh my goodness, bless their heart. You know, so it gives really confident, really bold. This confident energy is really, really significant because remember we talked about that channeled song by Sabrina Claudio, Confidently Lost. So I don't know if you are confidently lost, or this other person is, and this can also mean that somebody is in this energy like, look, I'm lost, but I ain't sitting around crying about it, dwelling about it. I'm owning it. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Take it how it resonate. Now, this song is called Show Me How by Men I Trust. So I feel like somebody wants to show you how, or maybe you are needing some guidance and advice and everything else, especially when it comes to this romantic or lover situation. This lovers can also just be union with self, not necessarily with other people, but it does give soulmate energy as well. And I know when we hear soulmate, we think divine counterpart, lifelong partner, eternal love, but we all have free will. All right, the love could be there, but traumas are also a thing. You know, relationships going from potential to be divine to, you know, karmic relationships, which karmic, it doesn't necessarily mean people are bad. It just brings about growth, awakenings, and then I thought of transformation. All right, 1 second, close this door. All right, welcoming you guys. This is a collective. A collective is for the querent who is receiving the messages. So mind you, this is not a personal message. It's for any and everyone who possibly hears a message that they can relate to. I'm confirming what you already know. I could be fortune telling here and there, but don't stress yourself out when it comes to a reading. If you ever get stressed or confused, then you will know to just leave that message for somebody else, or maybe it'll make sense later on. If you guys want to get your own personal message, remind you I don't just do readings. I also am a wise counsel, a holistic consultant. I do many things. If you check out my website, it will have a more in-depth description on what I do and what I provide. If you are of low income and you can't afford my prices, no worries. I have donation-based readings, questions, life coaching sessions, all of my services basically for those of you who are of low income or you just can't afford my prices at the moment. Donation based is anything that you're able to afford. If you are wanting to be a part of the collective to receive a message, then make sure you are double tapping the screen. Anything that's like contributing to the live. Double tapping, sharing the live, gifting, following, different stuff like that so it can pull more on your energy. All right. Mind you, there's no energy exchange necessary, but I'm way on the other side of the states, honey, the country. You are way somewhere else where you are at. Magic and synchronicities is most definitely a thing. So I feel like you're called here for a reason and you're able to get some type of message here. But still, just because it's not a personal message, to pull more on your energy, make sure you are double tapping the screen, etc. if you want to be a part of the collective. All right. Welcome in. Welcome in. For those of you who are returning back, hello. It's good to see you again. For those of you who are new, welcome. It's always great to have new people. Don't forget, I do have YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. And I have a backup TikTok. So like I said, if you want to check the link in my bio, it has my payment options, my platforms, all of that good stuff. Now, this song is also by Mariah the Scientist. It's called Note to You. I don't know if you guys ever wrote this person a letter and never sent it. Maybe vice versa. Maybe it could have been sent, you know. Take the message how it resonates. She said, why you never call me? 3 of Swords and the Star. I feel like a lot of you guys are healing from some type of pain in different relationships and connections. We're not just talking about one person in particular, but there is like one, or, you know, take how it resonates, certain amount of people who are coming up in the reading. But this is a message for the current themselves. So we could be picking up on your energy, other people's energy. Just take the messages how they resonate. Now, Strength and Hater had came out, and that's what we were talking about. The channel message was they don't want to fight anymore. And that someone or people miss you. Some of you guys could be really, really attractive. And passionate, and maybe this is also what you're attracting. Someone who's really attractive, not just by looks, but also their energy. Think about me. No. The music started picking up. At first it was like slow tempos, R&B, very, yeah. And then it went to a beat. This is Sabrina Carpenter. So the name Sabrina, or the letters in Sabrina, like S-A-B, those letters most definitely could be significant, because we just came across 2 people who had the name Sabrina. And remember we talked about the S initial just now, and I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe S's or whatever. S's, A's, B's, R's, I-N's are significant. And earlier we had talked about the artist Sonia. So the letter S, or the name Sabrina, or divine feminines or feminine energies could be significant. Mind you, divine feminines and divine masculines aren't necessarily people. We all have our different beliefs and how we do things. So some people, they look at it as people. Others look at it as energies. Others look at it as both. So mind you, men and women, because that term was created by human beings themselves. So gender fluid by all means, right? Both genders have feminine and masculine energy, and you'll flourish really, really well when you balance out the two. All right, but I know that I could be speaking to some type of divine feminine energy, because usually if this is not talking about a person themselves, it's talking about the situation at hand. It's talking about personalities, characteristics, traits, etc. Right? Usually with the Empress, it talks about fertility. It talks about nurturing energy. It talks about the divine feminine and everything else like that. I feel like this is going to be a connection that doesn't suffocate. You don't suffocate this person, they don't suffocate you. And then I literally just came across this theory of the 1 + 1 = 11 theory, not 2. So, and I guess they kind of were saying you don't merge into like changing yourselves and like all this. You just come together still, like, yes, as one, but you're still your individual selves. Nobody's identity shifts and all this other stuff starts to happen. So I feel like this is a connection that's going to be based on most definitely still independence and individuality, and you'll just come together. And it's giving like a healthy union, honestly. So I'm not sure if this is going to be with people who you reconcile with, or if this is going to be with new people. And honestly can go any way, because believe in the impossible, okay? Be positive as well, but also don't forget what you learned. You are a person of spiritual gifts, so you most definitely can see if people are not meeting you at the level that you are at, if they still got some healing in time and growth, whatever, to go ahead and, you know. But it's your life. Just choose wisely. Work smarter, not harder. Choose your battles. I feel like a lot of you guys were hurt when it came to connections, honestly. Like, if you just, that's what I said. I had created this whole, like, I don't really want to say theory, but I had this realization, and it's like, why trauma exists in the first place has a lot to do with human beings. Animals are not traumatizing you. If you traumatized by an animal, it's because people told you to be fearful of them, or maybe when you was young, a lizard bit you, or a child, a dog came running after you or something, you know. But other than that, like, trauma really comes from human beings themselves, whether it's strangers, whether you get into connections. And a lot of times for you guys, it was closer to home. It was like immediate family, or not even just immediate family overall, right? Friends, lovers, situations, people who are in your close circle, people who you possibly personally knew. Look, remember we talked about that Queen of Wands? Wait, did I even say Queen of Wands out loud? I probably was just saying it in my head, but I had thought of the Queen of Wands when I was talking about that. Y'all are very like attractive energy, because I know somebody with the name Izzy is in here, and I was going to say that name is very significant. It's this male who has the name Izzy, and they have like these, I think they actually were known on social media, like they used to make these posts, and I think they kind of shifted what they started doing, and they were like being more poetic in their posts. And this was somebody who, I believe they were melanin for sure, bronze skin. You know, a lot of melanated people don't like the term African American or black, so I don't want to offend anyone, but, and you know, a lot of times they say that one is not African American anyway. So child, look, This person is melanin. They are a masculine or child, gender fluid by all means, but they, in the 3D plane of this earthly plane, they are a male. And I think they have the style of like dreads or twist or something, and they have these like really light brown eyes and almost like this like bone structure. Like if you think of the Lion King, what is that one bad lion name? I don't think it's Mufasa, right? I think Mufasa is the actual lion that everybody likes, but I can't really think right now. But yeah, so they helped me get this whole energy of in like an attractive like energy or whatever. And so I had thought of the Queen of Wands, but I don't think I had ever shared that with y'all. Break some bread on, get that butter my biscuit. Doja Cat, bruh. This is a song by Doja Cat. It's called Rules. Somebody can have good vision. Maybe that could be you. And this can also be metaphorically in a more gifted way. Like you could be a seer. Someone who's very psychic, intuitive as well. Alright, let's get some more messages on this situation. Friends or significant celebrations. Yeah, I'm seeing a reunion here. But I'm also seeing the 5 of Swords. So maybe some of you guys could have many people coming out in your energy. Haters, people who miss you and want you back, which is in a, you know. Alright, love is not just limited to romantic connections. Oh, Scar. Scar, yes.
You want to have that stuff, whatever you guys have, put it up there in the front, over there by the, over here by the fireplace area, here, there, and in the six of
Confirm strength. Okay. Yeah. It took y'all a while to get to this point, and that's the thing. That's about strength. And yeah, before I continue on with this, somebody told me the name of the lion. Their name is Scar, and that's what I was saying. Like if you just think of the Lion King movie and Scar, like that's kind of how that person looked, you know, in human form though. But and then I just started thinking of like bad energy. I almost said like the bad boy type of energy, but not somebody who's straight up disrespectful to women and like all that. No, I'm not talking about that. That ain't bad boy at all. That's little boy in grown man's body. Okay. But this Knight of Pentacles came out for this strong energy. Tarot is very broad, so this can be said in many, many ways. But for me, at this moment right now, I was picking up on this energy that some of y'all, it took you a while to get to this point in time. And a lot of you guys are encouraged to possibly create some type of routine to help you stay in this type of vibration and frequency of strength. Strength can usually tie to confidence, you know, self-esteem, overcoming a lot of difficulties, insecurities, and stuff like that. So this could be your energy. It could be this other person's energy. Because mind you, the main energy that we was channeling was talking about like outside sources of your own. But this is like your own reading. We don't ever allow other people to take over the reading. So that's why I say, hey, if it's other people's energy, it's other people's energy. But don't ever shy away from it being yours. Because this is like a reading for you guys. And once again, it's not a personal message. So I have to say that, especially after me saying it's your message. It's not necessarily your message. I'm just saying what I feel called to say. Feel free to take it. Feel free to leave it for somebody else. All right, I'm not talking to anyone in particular. But take what resonates if you would like to take what resonates. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of the collective, make sure you are double tapping the screen. All right. Anything that's contributing to the live, you can double tap. You can follow. You can share the live. You can comment in the chat. Different stuff to pick up on your energy a lot more. Somebody can have blue eyes. I'm seeing like this person looks kind of old. Don't be so in like this negative energy, because I feel like this is gonna change your looks, or this is going to possibly help you age even faster. All right, but going back to this this other energy. Somebody could be a Taurus, Capricorn, and or Virgo. Leo energy is out here. Leos usually are known to be like people who like to be in the center of attention, or they thrive in the center of attention, or you know, many other things, you know. And this song by Big Boogie, it's called Baby Don't Move, but I'm gonna skip that. Doja Cat Shine is on. Today is January the 23rd. It's a Friday. It's currently 7:47 p.m. That could be significant to someone. I also have a 23% battery. So mirrored numbers 2323, 1717, 888, 789 could be significant. 112, 123, 111, 000, 999. All right, but I feel like it took you guys like this is like a slow journey, right? Slow, steady type of journey. Something could have been done in a routine. Huh? Yeah. This can also be looked at as a financial reading as well. Finances could be involved. People can be involved. You know, it's very broad. You don't have to just limit it to anything particular. And the reason why I said this is because this is the Knight of Pentacles. Pentacles, people used to call things, oh, Knight of Coins, Page of Coins, but coins, you really think of it as just coins and finances itself. So Pentacles is the more broadened aspect, to where you don't think about just finances, you think about health, you think about the material world itself, whether it's people involved or, well, I'm not going to really name that for people. When I think of people, I possibly will associate it with the Cup energy. But in like a different sense, you know, with my Gemini and Mercury, I can see how, you know, I could mention people with the Pentacle energy, but just because they're on the earthly plane, you know, things that tie to the earthly plane. But material values, aspects, and stuff like that. Usually the Knight of Pentacles is someone who's reliable, trustworthy, hardworking, somebody who could be, you know, doing something in a routine way, especially if it's like financially. But first to be confirming the Strength energy, that's very like interesting. For a lot of you guys, if you want to pull messages on your own, or if you're ever hearing a message and you want more insight on a message and other ways to view it, you can always ask ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT, the Strength came out, and then what confirmed it was the Knight of Pentacles. What that mean? You know, I rock with ChatGPT. That's my best friend. So I feel like y'all should take advantage of the AI for real. Like asking it stuff. But do know that these are just tools. Like, this is a tool. Everything is a tool. There's God within, there's God all around. Tap in with yourself. Introspection, doing the shadow work, doing the healing, tapping in with your own magic and subconscious. You know all the answers, right? Especially like deep within. But sometimes we get programmed, we get raised a particular way. We don't really reach certain versions of ourselves at a young age because we get, you know, shunned. We start feeling ashamed, and, you know, we get told, oh, don't do this, no, do this, you know. So it kind of takes away from you being you and growing up into this version of yourself, you know. But just regardless of being misled, misguided, mistaught, delays, etc., you still have the potential to come into the version of yourself who you truly are. So going back to the whole point of the message, because I'm kind of trying to stay on topic. I have try to have a history of not staying on topic, and we be talking about 5 different things instead of the main idea that I had came up with. So I'm gonna try to stay in that and say, based on what I said, you and this person, you know, you could just look at it like that. Science, psychology, just real life things, right? Can't be tamed. Yeah, these are channel songs, you guys. So if you ever want to look up the songs, maybe just listen to them, vibe to them. Maybe the artists themselves could be significant. Maybe their birthdays or years or zodiac signs, something, right? Maybe even the lyrics of their songs. You know, sometimes you can connect telepathically within music and like other things. So maybe people are just sending you messages through music. Maybe this is even telling you how someone feels, telling this person how you may feel. Whatever, right? But this song is by Mariah the Scientist. It's called Eternal Flame. All right. But too much just can't be tamed. Why is Hater out here? Maybe somebody doesn't realize they're in this hater energy, whether this is you or another person. And I'm glad we spoke about shadow work, because shadow work is what helps you dive into the things that are hidden, unseen, that you even may hide away. Be tamed. Then the Ace of Cups is here, which talks about Cups energy is usually water energy, Scorpio, Cancer, and or Pisces. It also, with the 1 here, you know, 1, you think of fresh starts, new beginnings, etc. So when you think of the Cup energy, it usually ties to new love, new relationships, new emotions. Cup energy can also tie to intuition, creativity, and things of that nature. So the Moon and the Ace of Cups. So this could be new people, or this could be people trying to come in with a renewed energy. But just be mindful, because sometimes things are not necessarily what it seems. Now, that could be in a grand way, or that can be in a illusion way. Like somebody is presenting a certain energy and they're not really in that energy fully. Or you feel like somebody is showing up in a certain energy because you perceive things in a certain way. See, our beliefs, that's what create our reality. We believe in, how we think, our actions, that's literally what creates our reality. So if you perceive things a certain way, child, you done at this point. If y'all feel like, nah, this person a hater, they're a narcissist, they if I'm gonna be with them, they gonna kill me, I ain't gonna have da-da-da. That's what's gonna be your reality. And you'll probably shy away from every person that makes you feel that way, right? But a lot of times when you think about it, people just they don't create the wounds that we have. They possibly throw more salt on it. Okay, this wound possibly wasn't created by this person itself. This possibly, you know, a lot of things stem down in childhood, you know. So like I said, whether it's you or this person, I feel like we're all just on our individual paths, living, learning, experiencing, right? And we pick up on beliefs that aren't ours, projected beliefs, opinions, programming, like all this stuff, right? And that's fine. Be gentle with yourself, because it's not like you can force yourself into, oh, okay, well, now I know the answers. Now I can just shift into this other energy. Not everybody is as successful with that. I don't really want to use the word successful because, you know, there's no such thing as failure to me personally. Maybe mistakes, but then again, with that, mistakes are just lessons in disguises, right? And lessons to me are blessings in disguises, right? If you knew better, you would do better. So I feel like we just have to look at things in that particular way. Maybe building this routine to where you stay in this vibration of strength. Maybe that'll be good. For some of you guys, you've been down this path for years, and I guess it just built you into this very strong individual. I feel like this energy was always there, but I feel like you've learned to just continue to become stronger and stronger and stronger. Like that energy of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger than a little time. It's like that energy. But somebody could be trying to get their life together, their health, whether it's emotional, mental, even like trying to get their money from being funny. They're trying to shift things. This could be you too. Maybe even twin flame energies is significant. And I've learned to, you know, detach a little bit from a lot of beliefs that were never mine anyway. When I first learned about twin flames, I clinged to it like that. Just like before I was a tarot reader, I most definitely cling to every single reading, honey. You know? So, now I kind of lost my train of thought. Not gonna let... This song is called Midnight Rider by the Allman Brothers. It's a band. So maybe bands or that type of stuff could be significant. 5 of Pentacles on the back, Taurus energy. And from this 9 of Pentacles and Strength. Yeah, trying to keep things afloat. Back and forthness could be a thing. Indulging in one thing and then coming into another. It's not doing something at the same time. It's like that, you know? Like if you juggling a ball, like type stuff. Pink hair or dyed hair could be significant. Someone with silver or white hair, blue eyes, maybe somebody who wears eyeshadow, pink eyeshadow. I'm saying pink eyeshadow. Maybe blush could be significant. I'm seeing somebody with brown eyes, a bald man, somebody with a beard, a long beard actually. So older men could be significant because this person has like gray hair. I'm seeing a nice built lady as well. I don't really mean to talk about how she's built, but she got a headband, pink headband. Somebody got like a pink, I almost said a pink, not a pink, a white bow, but it's really just like a scrunchie. What? A hair bow, a hair tie. Can't even think. All right, but confirming these energies, the Two of Pentacles, which usually talks about balance, talks about two financial situations, doing something. I don't want to keep thinking of simultaneously, but doing one thing at one time and then hopping into the other one and switching back and forth. Not necessarily doing them at the same exact time. So some people can look at this as like finance-wise, people-wise, situation-wise, whatever the case may be. Maybe this could be being in and out of a particular energy. You know, that's how broad tarot is. That's why I say make sure you guys take the message how it resonates for you. You're also a messenger of your own. So whatever you feel like it could be, you know your life better than anyone. It is your life. I don't know any one of you guys personally. I'm just going based off like what I'm seeing here. This song is called Soft Like Dawn by Naomi Sharon. The LGBTQIA community could be very significant. All right, sure. But yeah, I feel like a lot of y'all, you was put in a lot of things in a lot of situations that did not feel good, and I feel like eventually you just like a tough cookie, ain't you? You know? And that brings me back to what I was saying that I possibly didn't finish. Strength doesn't necessarily come from winnings. It a lot of times comes from the struggles, you know, the obstacles, the challenges, but being persevering and resilient through it all. And maybe this is also what happened in a lot of you guys' connections. Even with these people who are pulling on your energy, saying that they miss you, they don't want to fight anymore. And by all means, when you hear messages like this does not mean, oh, this is a sign to go back. Give them another chance. That's up to you. This is your life. Like I said, that's why I try my hardest when I do readings or questions to let people know, like, you are in control of your own life. Don't go based off of what this is telling you, what somebody else is telling you. Make the choices and everything else in your life that you want to make. Do what you want to do. Don't let anybody control you, and don't feel like you gotta take advice from other people. That's why I like that saying that the main person who can give you advice will be yourself. But this does not take away from the people out here who are wise counsels and emotionally intelligent and mentors. You know how you can't take messages from them. No, but it's like on a separate message, you know. And then I also thought of, you can't lie to yourself. So, you know, you can't fool yourself, you know. Confirm the Two of Pentacles. And then it's almost like getting down to the bottom of it. Some like getting to the root cause, right? And now look, the Six of Cups. So this Two of Pentacles is tying to possibly relationships, intuition, creativity, love, emotions. And the list goes on. Usually the Six of Cups energy talks about returning to one's roots. It talks about childhood, children. When I think of this energy, I be thinking of like the inner child. It also can tie to sharing or gifting. This song is called I'm Not Mad by Tia Gordon. I'm saying pink flowers. She said daddy ain't raised no fool. Heavy earth energy on here. So a lot of you guys are healing from this connection and letting it go. Others of you guys, maybe you're still on this path, on this journey, but you're better than where you used to be. In a better energy than where you used to be. For others of y'all, you like just up and down every now and then. 1 minute you grand, 1 minute you not so grand. 1 minute you're not thinking about this person at all. Next minute they on your mind, honey. And maybe that can even be their energy. If it's not yours, or maybe it could be both of you guys'. Bring me back to that twin flame energy that I didn't finish. Usually when I think of the twin flames, especially in the past, I know that the the term of twin flame was one soul split into two, going into one body and the other going into the other body. And a lot of people look at it as the same soul, just split into two separate bodies. And then there's also these other beliefs that are tied to a darker version versus the more lighter version, right? Everybody has their own opinions and beliefs and whatever they say when it comes to these energy. Mind you, just like you are a human being who has your own imagination and beliefs, that's just what it is. So you can either connect with these things, create your own, or just forget all about it, right? It's all up to you. I'm not saying that twin flames are a thing, and I'm not saying that, oh, it's completely false, because like I said, that's up to you to determine. Everybody has their own beliefs. You're the creator of your reality. And remind you, I told y'all, you create your reality based on what your beliefs are anyway, etc. Beliefs aren't necessarily a knowing. I mean, it could be a strong opinion. You know, but all beliefs possibly aren't true, but it don't stop people from believing in it. So if you are going to believe in anything, make sure it's not fear-based. Make sure it doesn't limit you or restrict you, you know, stuff like that. But I feel like somebody who wants to return back in your energy, they could possibly look at you as somebody who's really strong and somebody who helps them be strong, helps them get through things. You know, life could be so long, depressing, etc., right? Until somebody like you come in. But I feel like you deserve this in return for sure. And a lot of you guys, you do love yourselves and you do have a certain amount of, you know, respect, etc. for yourselves. But I guess you still have your own traumas that you see and don't see that put you in this space where you'll possibly overstay your welcome in people's lives. And I kind of want to be careful with certain things that I say, because I don't want you guys to think what you're doing is like ever dumb or bad or whatever the case may be. Like I said, if we need to learn something, we're gonna learn it anyway. Just like how when you guys started off and you didn't know any better and then you got yourself in a pickle, but then you got out of it, you know. So I mean, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. You know, if you need to bump your head in a situation, I guess that was just necessary. How else were you gonna learn? Or, you know, you had to experience whatever you had to experience. Not because, this is going to really help the collective and shape the collective. A lot of people have their beliefs to feel like we go through what we go through for a reason. We chose this, all this stuff, right? Okay. No judgment. I let people believe in what they believe in. But all I know is when I started off in certain things, I thought that, oh, this is what this means. Oh, this is the... And then, child, eventually I got to a point in time to where I couldn't tell what was right from left, honey. I was confused. I experienced cognitive dissonance. Child, my brain. Okay. So I guess I'm at this point in time where I'm more free-spirited. I'm more going based off, like, self and just navigating like that. Because, child, I stress myself out real quick, okay? Because I'm telling y'all, I don't know if it's because, like I said, I have a Gemini and Mercury. Mercury is communications, mentality. And you know that Gemini is the twin energy. So, child, you know, it was giving me a run for my money, honey. And I guess, because I did grow up religious, so I guess since I already had came into this belief, right, that there is this particular way of something, and there is like a wrong way of something, right way of something, wrong way of something. So I guess I was programmed into that already. That's why it's important to deprogram so that you can reprogram. Because if you try to pick up on new information, whatever case may be, child, I don't want you to be like me, honey. I here about to die from pop a blood vessel for real, struggle, honey. And that's a whole nother story, though. That's a whole nother story. And I guess it don't really have to be. I guess I can elaborate on it, but child, gotta be careful out here in these streets, especially when it comes to your beliefs and everything else, because it can either make you or break you, you know. So, but do know you are not alone. Do know there is a such thing as like magic and like some higher power for real, because I still never can answer this question. Which, you know, human beings, they gonna try to find an answer for everything and a question for everything. But I'm still stuck on the fact of how the first person has gotten here. If you go based off of women has some type of relations with a man, that's how a child is being born. That's what we see right now in the real life, real world situations. Women get pregnant by a man, have a baby. So in religious sense and everywhere else, they have their own viewpoints of things, right? But it's always still something that seems like something that you don't see in today's time. The whole walk on water thing, or the whole, oh yes, this came from this and that came. Everybody, if you get into all different types, whether it's Buddhism, this, that, everybody has their own, But that's what keeps me into knowing, based on the miracles that I've experienced and the things that was just like so magical for real. That's what keeps me in that space of, for sure. I know this is, this is now. I know this is real, or whatever case may be, But going back to this stuff right here. Some of you guys, this could have been somebody who you were back and forth with. Break up, reconcile, break up, reconcile. Some of y'all, you was trying to hold on, or maybe you were holding on and you weren't doing all the breakup stuff, but you still want on good terms with this person. So it's like good terms, bad terms, good terms, bad terms. And like I said, this don't have to just be limited to love. I mean, my apologies. Love, right? When we're talking about love doesn't have to just be limited to romantic connections. It can be platonic as well. But I feel like you guys have been very strong, and I feel like whomever these individuals are, you bring strength. You give them strength, confidence, maybe. But people have to know that you are not somebody's personal healer, savior, God, goddess, whatever. People need to be whole on their own, etc. Because, say for instance, if you just being you doing what you do, and they relying on you to make them happy and to probably, soothe their ego and everything else, then they're going to be mad at you. That ain't the collective job, honey. And vice versa with the collective. Either you accept people as they are, or you just let them go. But like I told y'all, when it comes to them karmic relationships, it's karmic doesn't necessarily mean bad people, bad person, whatever. And it doesn't mean that it's cursed to remain in karmic energy. It's just we all have free will. And it's up to us to do the healing work and everything else so that we can, actually be in healthier relationships and connections. But people are just too stuck in their ways, intentionally, unintentionally. That's when it takes two the most, right? That's why I'm saying people got to carry their own weight. You can't come into this connection in particular energy, and I feel like that's what be happening. We connect with people who are probably in our areas. First it started off when you were in the same school, but the whole time, especially if you grew up poor, you got generational curses going on, scarcity mindsets, programming their kids as well. Unintended, like I said, we don't have to point the finger and everything, because if we do that, point the finger at mom and dad, we're going to have to point the finger at their mom and dad, and at their mom and dad, and at their mom and dad, and at their mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, forgive them for they know not what they do. People show up how they show up because that's just who they are. You can't expect a snake to be a lamb. A snake gonna be a snake, a lamb gonna be a lamb. So I guess when people just do the work and know that there is work to be done, I mean, a lot of things can happen, a lot of things can shift, but the karmic energies is just to push forth, I guess, growth and everything like that. And this is also possibly a belief, It don't have to be true. Maybe it's not true. Look, I don't know, but from just to give you guys a message, those type of relationships or people or connections triggers growth, awakenings. This song is called it's by Toni Braxton. It's called He Wasn't Man Enough. Maybe some of you guys just vibe with this type of music. Maybe some of y'all had old school parents. Maybe this is how you feel, okay? Or someone else feels. Like, he just wasn't man enough. But I feel like these people were carrying a lot that they didn't even share as well. And this same thing with you, whether it was intentionally or not. And I feel like if we look at people like, nah, you secretive, I can't trust you, you weird, you this and that, and that's how it will be. But if you look at people like, that's why practicing the law of detachment will be possibly really beneficial and healthy. Because then I feel like situations will traumatize you less. It probably wouldn't traumatize you at all. But we take things personal and, you know, a lot of things. Like, for instance, if you were a person who had traumas, trigger warning, sex wounds, and everything else, you probably are the more person to have, you know, sexual relations with people. Just doing it, you know, 30 plus bodies or whatever the case may be. No judgment. And people looking at you like, oh, you a HOE or, you know, da-da-da, when your heart is pure and everything else, you know. That's why the whole don't judge a person thing, because you never know, you may be in that same energy, or you never really know what a person going through or who a person is at heart, like, you know. And the same thing with other situations with human beings overall. Me personally, inner peace is the goal. So the whole idea of forgiveness and all this other stuff, I actually can relate to that, especially when you're not too much in a traumatized energy, depending on, because you can still be traumatized and still walk that path, you know, that energy. But sometimes when you just had enough of life and people in it, and then you just been pushed to like a certain energy, sometimes all that forgiveness and go the way Jesus would, you probably let me tell you something, you know. So I guess, you know, different strokes for different folks. And at times, you know, time does heal. The Knight of Pentacles also talks about how time heals all wounds. So some of y'all, you just need time. You just need time. And some of these people, I guess they just need time. All right. We're all on our individual paths. Don't ever allow what other people do or their perceptions of you dictate anything, you know, dictate your worth, etc. People meet you at the level that they've met themselves. If they can't love you fully, that's because they possibly never loved fully, didn't have the capacity to love fully. Our first loves usually is the people who raises us, or whatever case may be. Hope that didn't sound weird. But, you know, so depending on how those connections goes, because maybe mother wounds, father wounds are like a thing. And a lot of times, if you go based off of the childhood experiences and everything else, that reflects in your relationships, friendships, etc. Wanting to be chosen, insecurities, you know, having these obsessions and addictions, you codependent, you like all this, there's answers and reasons to these things. So that's the main thing of, before you can love anybody else, you need to love yourself. Before you can try to work and fix on somebody else or whatever case may be, indulge with self, you know. That's what I'm getting from that energy. Because I know some people, especially the smart Alex out there, they know you, what you mean you can't love nobody until, yeah, you can, you know. But Aries energy is here as well. All right, North Node, karma. Yeah, so I feel like, you know, karma is usually cause and effect, consequences of one's actions, you know, that type of stuff. That's when I created the saying that we give ourselves karma, basically. You know, sometimes we point the finger and blame everybody else, but, you know, the red flags be there. Sometimes we just need to bump our head. So it's like, be gentle with yourself, be gentle with others, right? For some, it's easier said than done. Be gentle with yourself still. All right, take time. But I had seen the North Node and karma energy out here. So the North Node usually ties to attracting good things, you know, high vibrational energy, positive energy, spiritual alignment, clarity, peace, light, strength, positive frequency, calm, grounded, clear-headed, protected, connected to spirit, grateful. Also can tie to self-respect, inner peace, and healthy boundaries. Okay. Protects energy, speaks truthfully and kindly, doesn't entertain drama. So a lot of you guys, this could be your energy, this could be what you're manifesting, and based on karma, this is what you're attracting. So that's pretty good. And maybe this is even like outside of your energy as well. All right. Confirm hater. Why is hater here? Who's a hater? Abandonment. That's what I'm saying. See, when usually you think of hater, you think of, who hating on me? But I'm also getting this other energy. Like, yeah, that could be a thing. But I'm also getting this other energy. Like, people are in this certain low vibration because maybe they've been abandoned. That. I feel like it's usually trauma. You know? Like, yeah, there could be a hater. Yeah, some of y'all sleeping with the enemy. Maybe you own people to be hating on you. Whatever the case may be. I'm on live. And, you know, stuff like that. But I'm also picking up that this could be people who just got left. Felt deserted. Felt left on the cold. Abandoned. So they probably are showing up in this energy like, well, I'm mad at you. I disapprove how you're acting. I don't like this. Because I feel abandoned. And it's not, maybe you just danced on their wounds, right? Not in a, haha, I'm doing this, but more like you poured salt on their wounds unintentionally. Like I said, that's where you can't blame yourself for stuff. Like, that's just how people have insecurities and all these other stuff. So if they feel this way, okay, I apologize for that. Want my attentions, whatever the case may be. You really don't even have to apologize in certain cases because people need to do their own work that they need. Sometimes it's just not your fault for things. You can be around here shining brightly, not stepping on toes, and people could still be jealous and envious, you know? So if somebody jealous and envious of you, are you going to apologize for being great? No. So that's what I'm talking about with that. But in other cases, if, you know, in other cases, it's like maybe an apology is fine. Maybe something was said that probably hurt somebody's feelings and vice versa. But in other senses, people show up in this energy. Like maybe some of y'all are giving people the cold shoulder and they don't like that. Because they're like, well, I thought you loved me or I thought you cared. And you know, and like vice versa. If somebody do something to you, you like, that don't feel good. That hurt my feelings. But if you get down to the root cause, it's not necessarily that person that's the problem. It's more so whatever you possibly experienced already to even open up that wound to where this could be something that would trigger you or whatever the case may be. Because it's sometimes when you're in life, something could happen and you could just brush it off. Like the things that you would probably feel like, oh, I feel like I probably would have gave somebody my peace of mind on that. Or knocked somebody across the head about that. Next thing you know, you surprise yourself and you just like, oh, nah, I ain't really, you know, because of growth or this and that, or really because it's not something that's a trigger to you. So a lot of times it's just triggers, right? Now, in a lot of senses, what I'm saying is people don't mean to hurt you. Even if they really don't want to, they can still wind up doing so. This is not discouraging you from calling people out on their BS. Because some people, they just do things, trying to get away with things and, you know, all this other stuff, right? Some people are just, you know. But even those individuals, whether they mean it or not, even those individuals, it's almost like that's just, they're showing up how they're showing up because that's what they know, child. That's what they know. That's what they came into. And this is not validating, excusing, etc. But this is just helping you be able to move forward in your life as well. Because like I said, some people, they take things personal and we forget the wisdom that we've attained. Like, oh, okay, people, you know, show up as, you know, their traumatized version of themselves. You know, it's some people out here who look at the world as still little kids, just in grown adult bodies, you know. And that actually makes a lot of sense. That actually do be making a lot of sense. But I just feel like the goal is, you know, time heals all wounds, and, you know, keep turning those weaknesses into strengths. And if people can't get it together and it interferes with you, then you know what to do. Like, some people just got to be cut off. That just is what it is. But to help you move forward, heal, etc., not fall into this back and forthness, just don't forget your wisdom. This song is by Nali, Nali. If I'm not pronouncing it right, it's called All Day. And then I had thought of thinking about you. So some people be thinking about you all day. Maybe even vice versa. But yeah, I feel like this is how you will be shielded from harm and a lot of other things when you are building that solid foundation within self, turning those weaknesses into strengths. Some people think that healing is not a thing. Like, we can't heal ourselves completely. That's just stupid. Like, who would think that? And I'm like, wow, we're just so limited with our beliefs, right? It's crazy. But I'm always going to be the one that goes for, like, the impossible is possible. Because, like, I've had my own experiences in life, miracles, spiritual awakenings that it just blew my mind, So, that brings me back to that concept of it's like talking to a brick wall. Not everybody will get it, but that don't mean you have to debate with people. Similar to, like, with my sister. We both grew up religious. And she used to be the type that would not want to go to church. We at times would have to, our mom would say, nah, you going to church. Or whatever the case may be. And so I guess when we got into a period of time when we can actually choose if we wanted to go to church or not, she would stay. I'm most definitely going to Bible study, Sunday, church, the school, the kids' school, whatever. And... but I wasn't never the type that would repent for your sins. And I was never really that type, though. But for sure, if somebody wasn't, Christian or any of those things, I'd be like, child, let me go this way. Because you will always instantly think, oh, no, you going to hell. Or, oh, no, something wrong with you. Or, so I'm already knowing how people probably see me already. Because I had the same beliefs, So when it comes to me and my sister, right? After we lost our mom in 2020, October 11th, I kind of like shied out of Christianity. Not really as aware of it. I just started getting into numerology and astrology and stuff like that. And I guess she got even more deeper into religion. Mind you, she wasn't even really going to church or none of that stuff. So, I'm trying to remember the whole point of me bringing this up. I think I was trying to make a point, probably the brick wall situation, when it's like talking to like a brick wall and people, however they see things, it's just how they see things, so all that proving yourself, proving your worth, trying to get somebody to see things from your point of view, it's like a waste of time. People gonna come into what they come into on their own. Just like me, at one point I was religious wildly. I'm in a whole different like energy. So it's like people gonna come into things on their in divine time and in their own individualized. So if people, and sometimes, like that saying, rejection is protection. Sometimes things are probably not working out in a particular way or whatever the case may be. It has a lot to do with, God itself, or if you believe in anything or whomever you believe in, it's like they cooking right now. So individuality is like a big thing. And sometimes you can't really be on that path when you still confused or battling between this relationship, that relationship, and all this other stuff. So sometimes taking a breather from people, separating, whether that's outgrowing each other, permanently being removed, etc. I feel like in certain cases, for sure, a lot of things happen for a reason. Then this is prosperous or disciplined. Yeah. But don't let people get to you. Like, turn weaknesses into strengths, because that's how you be able to tame those passions for real. If people don't see your value, don't see your worth, they talking to you crazy, they trying to press your buttons, they are possibly making you feel insecure about something, whatever the case may be. You see, when you turn certain weaknesses into strengths, nobody gonna be able to burst through that protection bubble you have. No matter what they do. And you can also heal from things that happened in the past. Like, oh, okay, that person cheated on me. I'm not going to take that wholeheartedly, like, so I'm unworthy. So I'm insecure and like all these other. Nah. You was always that in a bag of chips. Always. What somebody does or says does not dictate who you are and your worth. A lot of times people are speaking from a place of hurt and trauma and like, whatever else. But yeah, balance out relationships and your individual self. You 80% in relationships, 20% within. No. And this song is going off. It's called Put That Woman First by Jaheim. So I don't know if people getting them signs, put that woman first, because they starting to see them signs like, baby, that woman is out the door and she ain't coming back. Okay? So maybe these people, they trying to double back and fix things. Yeah. But some of y'all, you healing, you doing certain work, you getting your finances together. And maybe these people, they gonna have to catch up. Maybe they would catch up, shoot. I don't know. But if they don't, they're gonna be shit out of luck. Excuse my language, because y'all not playing with nobody. Especially coming into this North Node energy. If people is not on that vibe, not on that same frequency, ain't no more collective. Ain't no more collective. Yeah. They gonna have to be mature. Some of y'all, this is talking about an older man or emperor energy. Emperor usually are mature individuals, whether it specifically in age, you know, maybe 50 and up or late 40s and up. I don't really look at 40s as like that old, but this is your message anyway. So maybe it's about how you look at things. You know, maybe you feel like a mature man is 30. Okay. But me, I feel like maybe 50 and up, but take it how it resonates. So usually emperor energy can talk about, and the emperor was just out here as well. And the empress that came out earlier. Usually when we see two people, especially like feminine, masculine energy, we think of like relationships or partnerships or whatever. But I mean, that's up to you. But if that's the case, I did see 2 relationships. So either those 4 different people could be one relationship itself, past, present, future, or it could be 2 relationships, 3, 4, 5. You know, just take every name. But yeah, father figures could be significant. But some of y'all are leaving behind certain people where your light irritates their demons, or people who are haters. And some of these people are feeling this energy. And the crazy thing is, they don't like it. They don't like how you moving forward, how whatever, they disapprove or dislike something. Whether it's you, how you do things, your success, whatever. But like I said, don't take it personal, because like I said, people just come into these versions of themselves. Once again, I'm not dismissing anything, validating anything. Hold your wisdom close. But this is also to help you, to free you, heal your inner child as well. But yeah, I feel like you've always been a strong person. So people could be on this path of doing the work. You've been doing the work for years, even unknowingly. Mastering things. Thank you for the follow. If you guys want to be a part of the collective, make sure you're double tapping, sharing the live. Anything that's like contributing to the live, so I can pull more on your energy. Because this is pretty much a collective. It's not for anyone in particular. It's a lot of earth energy out here. So your finances most definitely could be significant. Your career, your work life. Health as well. This song is by Taylor Swift. It's called The Fate of Ophelia. They got that obsession energy again. See, somebody's literally obsessed with you. This could mean that they constantly thinking about you. This could be really anything. Obsession is, you know, obsession. It's not anything specific. So it could be obsessed in this way, that way, that way. That. It's just obsession is here. And be mindful, this can also be your energy. Some of y'all are obsessed with healing yourselves, ascension, you know, getting your health in order, getting to the bag. But just keep everything at a balance, for real. You know, I know you were taught, go to school, go to work, do this, da-da-da. That's what you was taught, though. I wonder how life would be for you if you grew up in a world that wasn't based on that. You'd probably be somewhere else in life doing something else, honey. Because I'm picking up that a lot of y'all are very, like, adventurous, spontaneous. You get excited about starting on new things and all that. Maybe it's time to go back to that version of yourself. So I feel like those That's when you were really connected with your innocence and purity and yourself, honestly. Even though you were young. But it didn't get wiped away or diluted, watered down, etc. 7 and 9 is out here. 9 and 7. Some of y'all are protecting yourselves this time around. You like, yeah, I can't rely on nobody else. I can't depend on nobody else. Not emotionally, not financially. Tell me. And y'all are, you're going to be exactly where you want to be. Some of you guys, you can already be reaping these rewards. I'm seeing success, victory. Some of you guys are being publicly recognized. Or you will be. I'm seeing somebody literally talking, getting their flowers, queen energy, talking like, thank you guys. It's something like that, y'all. Maybe this could be in the future as well. Yeah, all that hard work. Yeah, the Pentacles, y'all. And then I think of when you have this and you have all these little things, I'm thinking of it as like this is all the things that they've achieved. In the traditional deck, it's like somebody with a hammer and a nail or something on a pentacle, as if they're paying attention to detail, focusing on one thing at a time, working on something, hard working on something. In this one, it most definitely, like if you think of like say like a military personnel or something, and they got they on their vest or whatever, they shirt, they got the little stamps or whatever it is, and it just shows their rank or what they've succeeded in and like all that stuff. So it's kind of what I'm saying. And a lot of y'all, this has something to do with like, oh, I work these many jobs in life, and oh, this and that. I mean, it could be that, you know, your hard work could be paying off in different matters. You know, some of you guys, instead of holding your hand out, you actually getting in the mud and getting that work done yourself, you know, and making your own bread. Or it could be encouraged as well, because you know, you get somebody the power to feed you, you get somebody the power to starve you. But this most definitely is given. You guys were working really hard, and I feel like you're finally being recognized for a lot of things. And if you haven't experienced this yet, don't worry, this is to come. Death is out here. Things are changing. I feel like it's changing in a grand way. Something new is coming in as well. Some of you guys expect a check in the mail. Expect new money. I'm telling you, 1, 2, 3 on the clock, because 23.1K likes. I appreciate the likes. In the reverse, divine guidance. I feel like y'all know what y'all doing. Spiritual team don't even have to intervene. But it says divine guidance is signs, synchronicity, messages, and guidance provided by the divine. I'm not sure why it's coming out in the reverse. Usually when people read things in the reverse, it's because it's the complete opposite of the upright position. Hello, welcome in. It's more of a shadow aspect of the upright energy. Shadow is usually probably like the darker side of things, or whatever the case may be. And then another way for it to come out in reverse could be the same meaning in upright, just more potent. All right, we all have our different ways of seeing things, but as my 24 years of living and me being in divination from where I'm at now, I'm still holding on to those 3 things of how I look at reversals. But however you look at it can be a thing as well. This song is called My Heart, My Son. This is by Girls Who Cry. Alright, drink some water real quick, y'all. And some of y'all, when it came to these connections, y'all been using elbow grease, getting in the, giving grace, forgiveness, trying to help people. build people, work with people, teach people, learning from people. Even if they wasn't really teaching you, oh yeah, like in an apprenticeship type of way, but more in a lessons wise. But yeah, all of the above, because mind you, tarot is very broad. And not just speaking on tarot, but life overall. Alright, let's see why Divine Guidance came out in the reverse. Alright, lady. Alright, confirm why Divine Guidance is coming out in the reverse. Confirm why Divine Guidance is coming out in the reverse. Why is Divine Guidance in the reverse? That's what, didn't I just say that? It says move upwards into alignment. I just was saying for this, because like intuitively what I was feeling was the divine is not even really too much having to do this and do that and do this and do that, because that's how powerful you guys are. Or maybe y'all made it at this mark to where you're ascending and you've crossed some type of threshold, you've crossed some type of chapter to where your spiritual team don't even have to really talk to you as much as they probably had to before. Like it's clicking, Stephen, you know, type of energy. And if this is talking about other people's energy, maybe some of you guys are leaving people behind who didn't pay attention to the signs and the synchronicities. Or maybe these people are also, because you're not enabling them, constantly letting them back in your energy, especially the people who don't learn until you leave. Like if you're dealing with people who don't learn until you leave, then cool, because sticking around, child, they not getting it. So I feel like the things that y'all are doing is possibly helping somebody. Some of y'all, you've helped people, listen, you help people come back into what God is and like other stuff like that. I feel like regardless, you are always a huge positive impact in people's lives. This message may not be for everyone. Speaking to the starseeds and the earth angels and chosen ones and God's people for real. I mean, everybody can, you know, possibly be in these energies. You know, everybody has the potentials to do this, to do that, but with our free will, not everybody comes into that, you know. So that's what makes it like chosen one energy and this and that. Not necessarily saying, oh, you're better than this and that. That's, you see how the insecurities kick in every time. That's how people start creating other things like, okay, well, this is the chosen one. Well, we got this thing, we got that. Like, and then next thing you know, other people start believing in it too. I don't know why I thought of group 7. No shade, no nothing. I don't know nothing about it. I ain't do my research on whatever that is, but I just really don't. I just stopped giving a damn, honestly. Because like I said, when I got into a space to where my mind and my brain and everything else was pulling me here, pulling me there, I was confused on my own belief. I just stopped listening to everybody, honestly. And I already had awakenings prior anyways about that anyway. But you know, sometimes you get to just going back into the matrix or whatever the case may be. In the matrix, it can be different for everyone, you know. It can be different for everyone. Everything can be different for everyone. This song is by Summer Walker and Mariah the Scientist. It's called Robbed You. I should have robbed you. Oh, putting no trust in. Your chakras are significant. It says balanced energy centers of the body. So maybe doing some chakra work. Maybe you have been doing chakra work. I should have robbed you. Robbed you. Alright, but if you know that there are some signs and everything, maybe there are some signs that you may don't see or you're not interpreting in a particular way, that could be talking about ascension as well. Welcome, you guys. This is a collective. You're just now joining. If you're wanting to get on the list for any of my services, I don't just do tarot. I also provide life coaching, mentorships. I do go by being a wise counsel, a holistic consultant, multifaceted advisor, and a fancy word for tarot reader, etc. would be a divination practitioner. If you are unable to afford my prices, donation base is accepted for any and all services. Donation base is basically anything that you are able to afford. All right, if you're just wanting to be a part of the collective, then make sure you, so I can pick more up off your energy, because mind you, this is not a personal message, it's a collective. Just make sure you're double tapping the screen, sharing the live, gifting, even commenting, okay? Anything to pull off your energy. All right. Any more messages here for the collective regarding the situation, especially more of this miss you energy and they don't want to fight anymore? Maybe some of you guys could be missing a version of yourselves. Maybe some of y'all just don't want to fight anymore. You want healthy relationships. You want people who understand, you know, all these things. Because if this is other people outside of your energy, this could be how they feel as well. Like, nah, I don't want to fight. You know, I know we've been showing up like this. I don't want that. I don't want the back and forthness. You know, I miss you. Whatever case may be. It can be anything. All right. Any more messages here for the collective based on what we've been talking about? If y'all hear anything in the background, my apologies for all of that. Ritual and surprise. Oh yeah, if you ever did like some type of ritual, something is gonna be like, something is gonna happen from whatever ritual you've done. You probably are gonna be surprised. Like usually when you do something, especially like say if it was your first time doing a ritual, and then you start seeing the benefits of it, and then you get like, oh my gosh, it works. Like, I don't know, like something like that. But I don't know if this is your energy or somebody else's. And a ritual can mean a meaningful and intentional practice that's repeated. Okay, actions used to honor something, create change, connect spiritually, or to set an intention. Those are different definitions of what ritual can mean. Some people use candles, some people use smoke, or the elements, I meant to say, like fire and everything else, crystals, sage, you know, all that stuff. Similar to like manifestations, right? Or magic. You don't have to just use tools, you can also use words. Like, it's many different things. Let me close this window, y'all. But yeah, stay in this higher vibration. Don't let anybody shift your mood. That's what people be trying to do. Misery loves company. Okay. All right. With this evil eye, it says a gaze or a stare. Like, I don't know if somebody was looking at you and they was mean mugging you. Maybe this is how you was looking. Keep your spirits up. All right. It says a gaze or a stare, superstitiously believed to cause material harm. This energy can also tie to negative energy towards you because of your beauty, what you have, etc. This energy can also tie to jealousy, envy, resentment, hatred, and bitterness. Remember, we talked about the hater energy earlier. Usually, people who operate in this evil eye energy could be someone you know, someone who's watching you. It could be family, friends, and ex. All right. But this most definitely is someone who's watching you. This can also tie to a karmic partner, people who pretend to love you. It can also be strangers. All right. But it mainly gives jealous of something. Somebody who's watching you and jealous of something. It can be anyone. So like I said, I feel like a lot of you guys, you had your fair share of human beings on this plane, and I don't feel like you had the best experiences. Tell me more about Maybe some of you guys did a ritual and some people was feeling the magic from that ritual. Maybe it could have been even you being surprised from a particular ritual. Tell me more about this ritual and surprise. Some of y'all are about to reap the benefits from whatever ritual you did. And I don't know what ritual you did. I'm not talking about a love spell or whatever. I mean, if that's how it's applying to you, then okay, cool. But me, usually, I don't really agree to love spells and everything like that. So that's why I said that. But just take it how it resonates. Confirm more about this ritual and surprise energy. What is this energy? Why is it coming out together? What is this overall? When you're down on your knees. All right, this song is by Sade. It's called By Your Side. I feel like a lot of you guys, you've been low. You've been still grieving and mourning the relationships that didn't work out. Some of you guys are still experiencing sorrow and despair from these relationships. You are pretty much dwelling in negative emotion, dwelling on the fact that something didn't work out. I feel like you're just still hurt by something, but do know that this is the card of crying over spilled milk as well. Some of you guys could have lost someone. My condolences. Maybe some of you guys are still grieving the loss of people who are still alive and well. But this ritual and surprise is confirming this Five of Cups energy. So maybe you guys were operating in this energy and now you're about to, like I said, get surprised from some type of ritual that was done. Some of you guys, you're gonna turn around and be happy about something. Maybe this has a lot to do with you putting in some type of action towards something as well. You know, like maybe, okay, you did the ritual. Now it's time to put action behind something. Whether that's healing, whether that's taking on a leadership role, whether that's moving forward in some type of action or project or work or whatever the case may be. But like I said, remember we also had picked up on that energy of you guys being publicly recognized and everything. So some of you guys are going to go from poverty to rich and wealthy. And mind you, riches doesn't just have to tie to finances. It can also tie to spirit, wealthy within spirit, etc. Health. But let's get some more confirmation on this energy. Confirm more of this ritual and surprise. What is this energy? Because the Five of Cups had came out for it. So what is all of this energy here? Confirm everything for me. Ooh, unexpected money, honey. So like I said, I don't know if some of you guys did like a financial ritual. I don't know if you pray to your spiritual team to help with your finances, but some of y'all, you are about to be surprised. All right, I feel like you went through a lot of pain and tears and heartbreak, and that frown is about to be turned right upside down. Some of y'all are about to receive some finances, honey, but remind you, like I said, money, etc., it doesn't bring happiness, but maybe it can do a little something, but don't forget to do the work, okay? Don't forget to do the work. Don't forget to do the work so that you can stay in this energy. Maybe this can even be the form of your health. Anything. Like some of you guys, maybe you're going to be changing your diet around. You're going to be doing indulging in herbal medicines, because I know a lot of people are wanting to heal their body with herbs, because we get told you can't reverse any cancer, you can't reverse any disease. You're going to either have to get on these medicines or deal with it. Like it can be anything, right? Because remember I told y'all Pinnacle energy is not just talking about finances. So this can be health, this can be the material values and aspects, finances included, work, career, can be anything. So that frown is about to be turned upside down. Some of y'all, you get a new home. You getting new money coming in. Stability. Healthier partnerships that last. That's strong. Your health is going to be getting better. Your emotions are going to go from depressed and stressed to overjoyed and blessed. Like, well, I ain't really trying to say blessed, but all that. It's a beautiful thing. All right, so more specifically, let's get more basis on whoever this being is that misses you and all this. They don't want to fight anymore. So, you know, because I love a productive reading. I love talking about things that are really worth listening to and hearing. Now let's get into the other stuff that everybody be waiting on to hear. These relationships and everything like that. So, Let's see what's going on specifically. If you guys want to pull messages for yourself out of this reading, make sure you are double tapping the screen. Anything that to help me pick up on your energy. You can also say I consent to the reading in the comments. Anything to, you know, get some messages for you. All right. Higher self, God, Mother, spiritual team overall. I was picking up on this energy that someone misses the collective, or however it may be. I was picking up on this miss you energy and not wanting to fight anymore. Can I get more energy on this? A lot of y'all are about to be really happy. You've been doing certain work on yourself or encouraged to do certain work, but your spiritual team and the rituals that you were doing or the rituals that you should do that can help a lot. You know, I never like telling people what they should or should not do, so it's just whatever you want to do, honestly. I don't know if you want to get into a financial ritual. I don't know if you want to say a prayer, manifest money in. All right, but tell me more about this person that misses the collective. What's going on with this? They don't want to fight anymore. Tell me more about this energy. Yeah, Inferno. This is somebody who is going through a lot of, like, everything is just crumbling in their life. Everything. They're losing their job. It's a lot of chaos internally, externally. Everything is just crumbling down in their life. So I guess, of course, when all of this stuff is going on, they miss you even more. Even more, honey. They can't try to watch shows and get their mind off of it. Indulge in this, indulge in that. Like, at this point in time, they're at rock bottom. And it's like, man, nothing is putting a smile on my face. The one thing that was putting a smile on my face is not even in my life anymore. You know, so they could have tried to distract themselves as much as they could, this and that. But now, even more stuff is yeah. It's giving karma. It says Inferno. The heat, baby. You can't take the heat. Don't stand in the kitchen. But they stood in that kitchen, child. So it's just karma. Consequences of one's actions. And, you know, sometimes you just got to let people go through what they go through. Yep. Any more messages regarding this person who misses the collective, who doesn't want to fight anymore? Any more messages surrounding how they feel towards the collective? We got self-love. A lot of you guys, you're loving yourself. Encouraged to love yourself. Even this person wants you to love yourself. Because they can't help but to still try to come in your life and do this and do that. Some of these people would hope that you are remaining strong enough to love yourself instead of talking to them, because they're gonna try still every time to get back into your energy. But it doesn't mean that they don't want you to love yourself. It's almost like they don't want to come into your life because they know that you deserve better, or they know that you need to heal and all this stuff. And whenever they do come into your life, they make things worse. So they honestly don't even be wanting to come in, but it's just something like this keeping them like they're just either being selfish, or they just love you so much or miss you so much, or want to fix something so bad that they just come in anyway. So this person and you, honestly, is just focusing on loving yourself. They could be focusing on loving themselves as well, or doing certain work, or wanting you to continue to love yourself and do your own work. But a lot of you guys, you're focusing on self-love. You're loving you, you're taking back control, and you're finally being happy, which is great. You never know. Maybe this connection could work out. You never know. Maybe it won't, and there's something better. But the thing is, the main thing that matters now is loving you, taking back control, and finally being happy. Because a lot of you guys couldn't do that with this person. So sometimes needs are bigger than wants. Collective needs this. Even though they possibly want to talk to this person probably want to talk to them, whatever. They need healing and self-love and like all this, you know. Can I have more energy surrounding this person who misses the collective and them not wanting to fight anymore? Can I have more Messages surrounding that. Yeah, it says opposites attract. So I feel like a lot of you guys were fighting because maybe you possibly just didn't see things the way that the other person seen things. All right. Maybe somebody was detached. Maybe something was one-sided. Maybe there were trust issues involved. Lessons. All right. Maybe you weren't this person's usual type. Maybe they weren't your usual type. Maybe you guys possess different spiritual beliefs. You know, and I feel like that's a lot of times why fighting was possibly a thing. But we're all autonomous. So when people accept each other individually, love themselves as well, and they can come together, it could be something beautiful. But first, people got to do that work if they're not in their energy. Because if they're not in their energy, then of course the fighting is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. That gonna happen. You come into the connection with unhealed wounds that interfere with your relationship. It's gonna be like a tornado, destruction. Any more messages here for the collective surrounding this energy of this person who misses them, who doesn't want to fight anymore? Any more messages surrounding that? Roses are very significant. Valentine's can be significant. All right. We got mind games here. It says love affair. Some of these people, I'm seeing secrecy going on. Third party. It says hooking up. STD. Confirm more about this love affair. Confirm more about this love affair. Yeah, it says intimacy. So maybe some of these people were used to connections that weren't as, filled with depth. It was just sex, lust, shallow, gold digging, right? Now, for a lot of you guys, this could be talking about what's actually going on. Be mindful, past, present, and future energy could be significant. New people, old people, or past people. But regarding this situation, love affair is being confirmed. There's like intimacy here. It says passion, coming into union, chemistry, or missing you. So maybe people came into your life when they already had baggage. Third parties that they didn't fully, cut up loose ends with, even maybe vice versa for you. But also going based off the cards itself, some of these people there could be some type of love affair situation going on. I'm not sure if you put somebody in a third party situation or if they put you in a third party and maybe was being secretive about it. Hooking up with people, getting STDs, giving STDs. Some people could be indulging in sexual relations with other people and they just still think about you and miss you even more. Like I had told y'all, some people, they use sex to fix things, or they could use substances, or all these other things. But once again, don't allow any of these things to dictate your worth. Oh, this person has cheated on me, or this person is doing this behind my back, or this person is lying about this. That's just things that they need to work. That just shows you much more what somebody got going on in their own life that they need to work on. And even if it was you, if you was the person who put people in third, that just shows more about what you got to work on. I used to be the type that would get in relationships for sure. I was always like the lover girl, possibly a hopeless romantic child. But my thing was, I was connecting with people who was seeking me. I didn't sought after them. So it was a bunch of people who I actually turned down first time around, and then I just was like, okay, I'll give you a chance. That's possibly why they say go with your first mind. Usually going with your first mind on possibly every single thing doesn't have to be the case, but in some cases for sure. Because if I would have went with my first mind and not connected with any of these people, child, that would have been a good thing. Right? But I mean, lessons are just as great as blessings. All right, let's see. But maybe there was, like I said, whether it's past, present, future, we got controversy and secretive. So I guess some things that was hidden is now coming out into the light, being exposed. Yep. Whether somebody is going to be admitting to it, whether it's going to be catching up with them, whether a third party is going to come out and expose themselves, whether some type of message or communication is going to come in about it. Maybe this already happened. What's going on with this love affair and intimacy stuff? They're reminiscing. You could be reminiscing about the things that were very traumatizing, vice versa. Somebody could be letting old wounds bleed out on new connections. Did somebody cheat? Going back to distractions, yeah. Temptations. Always busy. Kept you waiting. Yeah, some of y'all were very much disrespected. Cheated on, lied to, hurt, abused, neglected, abandoned. I'm seeing guidance. It says faith, healing, intuition, or dreams. And then it says toxic love, drama, addictions, love or hate relationship. And this song is called Tonight. It's by Summer Walker. Yeah, red flags. Yeah. Guilt. Caught. Mind games. The eggs. Envy. It's coming out in the reverse now. Confirm more about hater. Confirm that hater energy right there. Got pictures. Yeah, somebody is in regret. They're reminiscing. They're missing you. And then you have this hater who is like looking on the outside, looking in, like hating and envious of that, which is crazy. Whole time, y'all going through y'all own problems, own stuff, but people looking at y'all like, or looking at this person for reminiscing and missing you like, you know, it's like, it's crazy. It's immature. But like I said, it just shows where people are at in their life, in their journey, especially healing journey. Like, people got a lot of healing they need to do. We got London on the track. All right, so I'll pull some confessions from this person so we can get a little bit more in detail. If you guys want this message to pick more up on your energy, make sure you are double tapping the screen, sharing the live, gifting, anything to contribute to the live so I can pick more up on your energy. Or you can just say in the chat, I consent. Cliche. Controversies, cliches, most definitely could be a thing. This song is by Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's called Part 2. On the Run, in parentheses. Some of y'all most definitely was settling because you love somebody. But there is honestly better on the way. Like, a lot of things. Maybe this is just the time to get your life back in order, your health and everything back in order. You closing out chapters and cycles, successfully ending things or completing things. This is a great thing. So count your blessings. You know, this will help you be more in the energy of gratitude. Because yes, there was a lot of things that possibly stirred up negative emotions, but there are things that are still active that can stir up great emotions as well. So keep that in mind. You know, some of you guys, you've been having nightmares. Your sleep schedule has been wonky. I'm seeing insomnia. I'm seeing anxiety, stressful situations in your head so much that it's hard to get out of. Yeah. And especially when you even going through it financially, that makes things even more worse because now, on top of all that stuff, you struggling financially and all this other stuff, right? But mind you, that's why I tell people, hey, learn about herbs and gardening and, you know, learning how to build things. So you don't have to learn how to build things in the modern way, like how they use cement and drywall and like all this other stuff. You can literally just go to like a boomed out area where there's like a water source get you something to where you can cut branches, or maybe you can, if you find rocks, certain like stones, maybe like this big or some, I don't know, child. Anything, honestly. I've had a habit of watching these videos where people used to go in boondock areas and create them like a shelter. You would think it would be like a little tent or whatever, something to hold up, but nah, people literally be carving in trees or digging in the digging through stuff, making like a hole, and already seeing something that looks like an area that's sheltered, so they just add more to it. Or I'm telling you, so you can go like how they did back then in primordial times, shoes, or a little bit after. And I'm telling you, it don't take much. Sometimes we think something is too hard, but that'd be way before we even get something to try or get information on it, you know. So for a lot of y'all who don't want to struggle no more in that aspect, you don't have to. There's many different things that you can do. But if you are unmotivated and if you don't know where you want to be and you don't be putting the action towards other things, the best thing that you can do is help yourself to where you don't even have to have money. And that would honestly be knowing how to grow your own fruits, veggies, or even find sources where, because it's literally all around the world. Like, you got trees. I remember when we was kids, we used to eat off a tree. It used to be this little fruit. It was like a little yellow looking, orangish yellow looking, mainly yellow though, fruit. And it used to be like possibly fuzzy on the outside, or a little fuzzy. It used to be really good and like sweet. Some of it was like a little tangy. Excuse me, but yeah, you got your fruit trees, your berry trees all around. But just for those who don't want to operate from this whole 9-to-5 stuff, the money stuff, the best thing you can do, I mean, is learn those things. But other than that, the other things would to just be, you know, look at things from a shifted perspective. Taking action towards things, your dreams, your goals, other stuff. A lot of things don't have to be that hard, you know. Sometimes we make things harder than what it has to be. Honestly. Hard finding your gun if they don't. All right. Let's get some more messages on this situation. I am still gonna be pulling the confessions energy. If y'all want to see the confessions of a soulmate, let's get the live to 50K. All right. All right, let's get more messages on the person that misses the collective. Can I have more energy on that? Can I have more energies on this person's energy towards the collective, this person who misses them? So these people, they want your forgiveness. All right. And this can also be confirming that they're struggling to get over the past. Maybe this is somebody who you are struggling to forgive, or just at least struggling, to get over the past with. But how this person is feeling towards you, I feel like they have a lot of unhealed wounds that are still interfering with the connection in today's time. And like I said, that's not your problem. That's not your, like, that's up for them to heal and to work through, etc. Just like how you worked through it, you know? So, I mean, but I ain't gonna really, I guess, comment my own 2 cents. But I mean, that is necessary for certain people to hear, you know? If you don't want to take that in particular, then dismiss it, you know? But for anybody else who needed to hear that, then, you know. Any more messages for the collective regarding this person who misses them? They feel your absence. They most definitely feel your absence. They feel like a part of them is missing without you. This song is by Brent Faiyaz. It's called Gang Over Love. Young and dumb. Whoa. This could be somebody who also had like bad grades in school, or they possibly was the one who would act up in school or get in trouble at school. Maybe they failed a grade. Maybe you failed a grade before. Specifically 9th grade or something. Maybe high school could be significant. It doesn't have to be. Any more messages about this person who misses the collective? Overwhelmed is coming out in the reverse. So the stress from this is draining me. All right. The stress from this situation most definitely could have been draining this person. Maybe they're coming out of this energy, you know. But I feel like this was a lot, like, to them. Like, maybe it was something that was like, they possibly weren't as strong as you were when it comes to certain things. And I'm not going to really say it like that. It's just like, especially if this person made their bed and they had to lie in it. You know, that's why I say if you can't take the heat, stay out the kitchen. If you know that you are not going to be the best in a relationship, why are you in a relationship? You know, if you know that you have traumas and trust issues and like all this stuff, you know, don't even put yourself through that or this person through that. Collective most definitely didn't deserve that. Earth angels, etc. So it's like, if you stress, imagine how the collective feel. Being the one that's wanting to love you, but you're not receptive to it. Take the messages how it resonate, y'all. I'm going to see why overwhelmed came out in the reverse as well. Because like I told y'all, reversals, I can read them in like 3 different ways. Either the same energy in upright, just more potent. The complete opposite of the upright position, or a more shadowed aspect of the upright position. Which can be not necessarily negative, but possibly, you know, darker, or whatever the case may be. Any more messages for the collective regarding this person who just don't want to fight anymore? Which 9 times out of 10 could be the same person. Take the messages how it resonates. Any more messages regarding this person who just don't want to fight with the collective anymore? Any more messages? It says, I have to take care of my financial and emotional needs. So maybe this is something that they're realizing. They have some responsibilities. They know what they got to do. And maybe even that can even be stressful. Because, you know, you are very much different from them. So imagine a person who is not filled with emotional intelligence and like an open heart space and like all these things. Any more messages here for the collective regarding this person? We got hope. It says, I haven't given up on this yet. So this person most definitely has hope for you guys. They still have hope. They still also have chemistry towards you, or maybe you still have chemistry with this person. This is most definitely somebody who looks at you as like their other half or their soulmate. They see you as very strong, and maybe this person in their own way could be strong as well. But I just feel like a lot of their past and traumas, it hinders them. It most definitely handicaps them. So they even see that they have their work they need to do. But a lot of things, I guess, is just really like overwhelming to them. And you make things less overwhelming, less stressful. But you're not in their life anymore, and they feel the absence of that. That's why they miss you and they yearn for your forgiveness. But they do struggle with things of their past. But they have hope for you guys. They feel like you guys we're destined to be together. We're destined to meet. All right, but they feel that they're struggling to find the right path. Maybe this can even be you when it comes to your destiny or whatever the case may be. Somebody's struggling to find their right path. And it's nobody's fault, right? Especially when you're a child. But now it starts becoming a time where you take accountability, especially when you enter adulthood. You know, it's more so like less blaming other people and having this pity party, and more doing what you need to do to help change yourself for the better. As in turning those weaknesses into strengths, etc. So remember all that stuff we was talking about earlier. That person most definitely needs to take heed to the stuff that I was saying. And maybe even you know. Any more messages regarding this situation overall with the collective and this person? Broken. Guilty. So somebody knows, like, however they showed up in the connection in life, they're feeling guilty because a lot of people know that, they have to take accountability for that. Like, well, I came in certain energy, like boom, boom, bam, and maybe this is you, maybe this is them, maybe this is both of y'all. It says, I feel shattered about this situation. I feel pain from the damage I have caused. Yeah. Any more messages here for the collective regarding the situation? Values is coming out. Maybe a lot of you guys are encouraged to connect with people who, well, the Hierophant didn't come out in this spread with the Lovers for me to say it like that, but if it resonates for you, connect with people who share the same values, etc. as you. I feel like with you and these people, y'all had too many differences, but that don't mean that y'all couldn't have made it work. You can have different beliefs and still make it work. You can have grow up differently and still make it work. It's just all about like our individual selves. Have we loved ourselves enough to where we can even accept others, be able to connect with others on a certain level, release our own weaknesses and insecurities and be in these like particular energies. It's just that, honestly, it's never really necessarily something wrong with you. It's just the things that needs to be tended to before connecting with people, platonic and romantic. Because I do know something about mutual friends could be a thing, or friendships, third parties, whether it's people who y'all both know or just like celebrations, maybe baby showers, stuff like that, parties, different stuff, romantic connections. Yeah, so I feel like you are still trying to heal, collective, from this situation, and these people are still trying to heal from things that happened in their past. So like I said, just allow time to do its thing. So allow time to do its thing, allow God to do its thing. Just until then, just focus on yourselves, You can't force anyone to get into growth, to heal any more faster, and just like they can't do it for you as well. But see the good thing, see the blessing in this as well. Now you can finally learn how to stand on your own and come into who you truly are without other people's energies interfering with that. Not saying that people can interfere with that, but a lot of times they can. When you still are learning yourself, you're kind of lost and struggling to find your path or your way or whatever. So if it's meant to be, I'm sure you guys will come back around and connect in a better time. Okay, and if not, it happens, there could possibly be something better, right? Which of course there always is, but it's just really all up to you and what you want to do. So this song is called Get Into It, yeah, by Doja Cat. All right, we didn't make it to 50K, so I won't be doing the Confessions of a Soulmate. Oop, there go that Hierophant energy. Oh my gosh. Remember I spoke about it? The Hierophant usually ties to God. It ties to commitments, values, traditional leaders or spiritual leaders, traditions, conventionality, or conventional things, people. A wise person or a teacher who speaks, teaches, could have an audience. Taurus energy here. Christianity or the cross or the Bible or things of that nature could be significant. But yeah, I feel like before one connects with someone else and tries to create union, one has to connect with self and come into union with self. Then you can start doing all the other stuff. Because now you know who you are, or you at least operating from that energy of stand for nothing, fall for anything. So in this point in time, you standing for something, you won't fall for nothing, because can't nobody tell you different. Can't nobody confuse you. Can't nobody project on you. Can't nobody make you feel less than or insecure. None of that, because you've already didn't establish that domain. You didn't already created a solid foundation within self, etc. So now you can externally, within your reality and within relationships, build, you know. So the Hierophant and the Lovers didn't come out together, but it still is in this spread, and these are all major arcana. So maybe you're encouraged to just connect with people who are more in alignment with you and your values and everything like that. Creating partnerships in those manners. It'll be less difficult, less fighting, disagreements, etc. Okay, don't be forcing nothing. But if this is just somebody that you want, who am I to tell you that it's not meant to be? Who am I to tell you that it can't work? That's for you to determine. It's your life. Just like in my life, I'm going to determine however I want to determine. You know, either I'm going to listen to everybody else and say, and think, nah, this is a karmic. It was this, it was that. This ain't never going to be. Da-da-da. You know, like I said, it's all how you look at things. You got people who've been in relationships 50, 30, 20 years. Some of them, that's because they overstayed their welcome. But for others, it's because they just kept pushing through, seen the vision, had the vision, whatever. So it's all up to you. You can welcome in new love. You can welcome in people of the past who are coming into a renewed sense of love. But the main thing is self-love. Self-love is always the best love. And you'll see the difference when you go into connections this time around. Leon Thomas, Vibes Don't Lie. This probably be the last channel song. Alright. Any more messages here for the collective? Yeah. See, some of y'all, you thought something was a new beginning or fresh start, and it turned out to be something that was more like a false start. There go that devil energy popping up. The King of Swords came out again. The Ace of Wands is in the reverse. The Page of Pentacles was the first card out after I shuffled this deck. So I feel like somebody wants to come in with something new. Maybe you coming in with something new in your own individual life. But King of Pentacles out here. The Hermit out here. So Capricorn, Virgo energy. Heavy Earth energy, y'all. Earth energy is usually tied to grounded, sensual, the more cool, calm, collected. You know, when you think of nature, you think of, right? So whatever Earth is to you, maybe you can do your research on that energy from an astrological point or whatever the case may be. The zodiac signs of Earth energy is Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. You could be this sign. The other people who came out in your spread could be these signs or have these placements. Maybe also Aries placements, Leo placements, and other type of water and air and fire placements. All right, but Sagittarius energy is also significant. The Temperance is here, which usually talks about balance, tranquility, healing. The Hermit is out here, which usually talks about going within, introspection, solitude. King of Swords is out here, which is usually the Court card, which is the personality or people cards, right? Traits, characteristics, right? Usually this is someone who is a mind person or someone who is intelligent, but also can be somebody who's head over heart, pretty logical, right? This could be your energy. It could be someone else's. Sometimes when these cards come out and you're wanting advice on how to show up in a certain energy, it encourages you to be in a King of Swords energy. King of Pentacles energy, Page of Pentacles energy, Queen of Wands energy, right? Because those are the other court cards that had came out. But take it how it resonates. It could be just confirming how, you know, the characteristics, personalities, traits, and etc. of other people are. Past, present, future energy is significant. Don't forget that. I could have been talking about things that have already happened, giving you more confirmation on something, or whatever the case may be. I could have mentioned things that are happening in the present moment, and also picking up based on fortune telling some future energy, things that have yet to happen, right? Or giving you a look into something that you possibly did not know about. All right, the other channel song is Sending My Love. It's by Zane, Zhane. So like I said, maybe these people could be connecting with you telepathically through music, sending you messages, whatever the case may be. Some of y'all, you may think it's your spiritual team, but it's possibly this person. Maybe because y'all have like some type of soul tie, spiritual connection, or maybe this was just a soulmate. I'm not sure how you guys view soulmate energies, but I honestly feel like we have more than one soulmate. Well, that's also a belief that I picked up on. So I'm not going to necessarily say that's me personally what I believe in. That was just a belief that I picked up on, where soulmates, you can have more than one. It doesn't have to just be limited to romantic connections. It can also be platonic. So, and a lot of times these people don't stay in your life forever. So I mean, just take how it resonates. But like I had told y'all, traditionally, this was talking about a romantic connection. Somebody who you love, they may love you, but with this double energy out here, there's most definitely some type of form of attachment, bondage, or something going on. This could be encouraged to do shadow work. This could be temptation. It talks about sexuality. It can really be anything. So I feel like that's why all of this stuff was happening. Like maybe two people do want to come in and start anew, but what's interfering is ourselves. Right? Old wounds, still bleeding out on the connection, lacking forgiveness, people not able to move forward, people not healed from the past. You know, so it's just like 1 + 1 is 2. And the irony of it, right? When I mentioned the 1 + 1 method equals 11, right? But just to give a message out, it's just like, what would you expect from a situation? Would you expect harmony and longevity and eternal love from this type of situation? Or would you expect bumps in the road and obstacles and other stuff, right? Because that's just something that's in the way. So you got to most definitely get the barrier. I mean, get the boulders out the way, and then it'll be a clear path. You know, the bumps and bruises out the way, then it'll be a smooth sailing path, right? A lot of you guys are coming into karma waters, but maybe this had to be done individually. This song is by Jeremiah. It's called Birthday Sex. Could be significant. 9:29 on the clock. 15% battery. 25.1555. Right out. 919. My house feels good. See you in passion. So I feel like y'all low-key, even with all this other stuff going on, y'all really low-key helping each other in a way. Hurting each other, possibly. Well, I don't really want to say hurting each other, you know, because we ain't gonna really point that finger towards everybody else. If this person is getting hurt by you, 9 times out of 10, it's their own insecurities. If you're getting hurt by this person, 9 times out of 10, it's because of lessons that you needed to learn, or realizations, or maybe, like I said, vice versa for what I said with them. Really all depends, but I feel like y'all were just pushed into going within and, you know, other stuff. So I feel like, yes, y'all coming together was something that was meaningful, right? But I guess it's all up to you guys. Somebody is preoccupied with financial matters at the moment. I'm seeing a new job coming in, a promotion or something. And I'm also seeing somebody wanting to offer you something, whether it's finances, a new, fresh start. But every time that y'all work on something or put in action towards something or whatever, it always ends up being not what one expected, or it's like taking a step forward and going 3 steps back. You'll think something is a new beginning, but it turns out to be a false start, not a fresh start. It'd be the same thing. And that's only because, of course, if you showing up in the same energy, you're gonna be sure to expect the same outcome or results. When you show up differently, then you'll most definitely see differently, right? So it's just all about doing that work that's necessary. And a lot of you guys are doing this individually, and if this person don't catch up, then I guess you'll just come into new connections that will last, be more stable. No more tears, because you've learned the lesson and you're attracted better. You know, when I say better, I mean connections that aren't built off of faulty foundation, trickery, deception, lies, lust, unhealed energy, like all that. You got me and I was on the bed, girl, you know I. Alright, let me know how that resonated for you guys. If you ever are wanting to schedule a message, I'm sorry, not a message, any of my services, please make sure you reach out to me. I do have a website that goes more in depth about my life coaching and other things if you ever want to check it out. Or you can just schedule a free consultation with me and I'll let you know all about my services. If you cannot afford my prices, donations are accepted, which is anything that you are able to afford. But that was the collective, you guys. We kind of got into a little bit of everything. And if you missed the message or if you want to go back to it, it will be uploaded to my YouTube. So that's something you don't have to worry about. This video will be uploaded before the week is up. So make sure you just turn on your post notifications or subscribe to my YouTube so that you don't miss it. All right. Don't forget to give me a follow, you guys, or you may never see my face again. If you have any questions, concerns, or feedback, please let me know in the chat before I end the live. But I return the collective's energy back to them with love, light, and everything grand. And I return my energy back to me with the same energy that I've given out. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your lifetime. Stay safe and dangerous. All right, don't forget what I told you. But yeah, I wish you the best. I hope you enjoy the rest of your lifetime. If you're wanting to book anything with me and the live ended, just make sure you DM me. All right, anybody is able to DM me. If you never DM me before, it may pop up as a request. But don't worry, I usually look at my requests right when I get off a live. And sometimes I'm notified when people message me. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.